So the garage floor was pretty dirty from all of the projects I've done lately and haven't really had time to clean it up properly. So Friday night, it was nice and cool. I pulled the cars out of the garage and just went to town cleaning it with some degreaser, and rinsed it down after that, and it turned out really nice. I started organizing some stuff because I could barely even walk around in there with how I had junk everywhere. So made piles that needed to be thrown away, and rearranged some other stuff now that the toolbox is out of the garage. And so I stacked some of the tires here that I was trying to sell and got them at least consolidated a little bit. But I was really happy to have the garage come together, even though I was tired from a full day a week, full work week really of early mornings. And anyway, it was refreshing to finally clean the garage and have a nice place to come out into it. And I really like coming out even in my feet. But here's a little walk through how it looks now. But anyway, I have these brand new JL Rubicon wheels listed for sale, and I was trying to get rid of them. And everybody's messaging me, but no luck until later, as you'll see. But next plan, I had to go get the 98 Cobra back. Okay, so here's where the 98's been, where my brother's been storing it since he just moved into a new house. But this is where he's been living. As you can see, it's starting to catch some pine needles and some debris here, so I'm going to give it a good cleaning, and we're going to actually switch the wheels out here because they're pretty bad condition. So I really like the wheels that are on this. These are 1998 Cobra only wheels. It's similar to the Cobra R wheels, but it was a wheel that was only found on the 98, so that's pretty cool. But if you look at the tires here, they're separating so bad. You can stick your finger down there between them. So we have a pair of bullet wheels we're going to put on it, and I'm excited about that because I want the bullet wheels to put onto the white GT. And so we'll put the bullet wheels on this to get it down to my house, and then switch some wheels around. So we'll see what we end up with at the end of the day. But I'm excited to get it back and drive this around a little bit, because after I fixed the misfire it was having and some of the problems, I never drove it after that. We just put it up here. So excited to drive it around now that the temperature is cooling down. It's one of my favorite times to drive these cars in the fall kind of time, and because we got our 97 V6 that was the same color, a 97, and we got it around this time. Okay, so we got to put the battery back in. We had it in the 10th anniversary Cobra in the meantime. Okay, little tip here, we put fabric softener sheets under here just because it'll, the mice and everything don't like the smell of them. So if you do have to store your car, whether it's inside or outside, if you have some fabric softener sheets, sometimes that's something you can stuff in here and keep them away from making nests in here and eating your wires and all that. All right. All those spider webs. All right. Very smooth clutch. Okay, so these are the bullet wheels that we're putting on, and these are really nice. What I like about these, and I'll post a link to the video in the description that my brother made, is in 2001 is when this wheel came out. They were known as bullet wheels because they came on the Bullet Mustang, and they were also an option for other GTs. But when they first came out, the texture and the finish was a little rough and a different color, and then they smoothed it out and turned it into a really nice gray. So that was 03 and 04?
0304 has the nicer, darker gray with the smoother pattern. Yeah, the paint look on the 01 and 02 was a hammered look with more of a lighter gray.
So these are the more desirable to me of the bullet wheels, and so these are really good. We eventually want to put these on the white GT, but they're going to look really good on this one for now too. And of course there's always a surprise. These are 13/16, except for one of these sockets somewhere along the line they had to change out for a 3/4 lug nut, so you never know what you're going to run into. Okay, and sometimes these wheels get stuck on here, even with all the lug nuts off. And so if that happens, make sure no one's under the car. Give it a kick right about here, and it'll free it up. And like, let's get our broom here. I'm waiting for my wife over here, and I locked it, and as I walked away, the alarm started going off. I don't know what that was all about. And there's my wife now, and it's funny because there's another Denali right there. I thought that was her. A million of those things everywhere. So I walked over to the other one, and I was like, oh, that's not mine, because it didn't have the chrome inserts on the wheel. She's pretty when she's mad. I said, you're pretty when you're mad.
Oh, it's my point to hit you.
Hi,
She
sweetie.
went poo, so you better just go home.
Okay, let's go. This makes an awesome changing table here. On this body style, there's buttons here to put the seats down, and you got yourself a nice little changing table for the baby. So I'm trading cars off, and my wife brought her key fob, and I have it programmed so it's real tight here. So luckily you can just hit the number 1, moves the steering wheel back down, puts it into spot number 2. But anyway, you want to go to Carl's Jr.? Yeah, let's go to Carl's Jr. Car looks really good with the bullets on it, I must say. Look at these imposters over here. Looks like somebody had a bad day. Holy cow. Alright, quick trip here to Carl's Jr. Famous Star, $1.50. Nice deal on those right now. Spicy chicken's gone up to $2. And then this is a Utah thing only, I understand. Fry sauce. Kind of a mix between ketchup and mayo in there too. It's good. So I got real close to the 98 because I don't want anybody dinging my doors here. I know that car's not going anywhere for a minute. So we're just gonna sit here and wait for Mom to be done with her nail appointment. Are we just waiting for Mama? She's over at Cosmo Nails. Doesn't really get her nails done much. It's kind of like a... She's actually doing it with her friend for her friend's birthday. But we're having fun, huh? Nice cool day, nice breeze. Can't really go wrong. Nice leather chair to sit in. Yeah. So I have somebody interested in these wheels. They're gonna come take a look at them. It's kind of hard selling stuff. Nobody ever wants to pay what you're asking, and you don't know who's coming over, so I don't know, I might even just pack them up into the truck and take them nearby. I didn't give them my address or anything, but it's how it goes. But it sure is a nice Saturday morning here. Nice temperature. I love having the garage cleaned up. Really makes a big difference. So I had a guy who was messaging me, and he was serious about coming and buying the wheels. So played musical cars here, moved the Denali out, and put the truck back in, and had to throw all the wheels up in here because I really don't like giving my address out to people. And so I just figure there's a really nice church around the corner, big parking lot. So whenever I sell stuff like this, I like to just tell them to go there. And if it's something I can move like this, then I'll just bring them to them. So I began just throwing these wheels in one by one. And, you know, you never know if you're going to do all this for nothing. They might just lowball you as soon as you show up, and you try to flash cash at you and say, you know, you come down more or whatnot. But this guy actually did show up, and he was willing to pay the full asking price, and I had lowered it down. I started out around $1,300 for all 5, because when you calculate the wheels and the tires and everything in, and these being basically brand new takeoffs, it's worth about $2,500 if you wanted to replicate, you know, the what you're buying here. But anyway, you know, you don't get stuff, you don't get full price for things that are used, even if, you know, these were taken off the Jeep basically as soon as it came in. But anyway, it worked out okay. I drove over there, and he was a nice guy. It didn't fit his Jeep. I was telling him that, but we found some wheel spacers that would have worked, because those were the 5x5 bolt pattern. His Jeep was a 5x4.5. But we did find out there were some spacers that worked. So anyway, brought the cars back, played musical cars again, and everything turned out good. And so now just I have to actually go get the 98 Cobra, because I dropped it at the shopping area over there. But when I pull the Denali in, here's a little trick that I do. Basically, as you're pulling in and you put it into reverse and the camera comes on, you can back up where the little tow hitch goes right onto that line of where the epoxy ends, and it's perfect each time. So anyway, now it's time to run back over with Justin and pick up the 98 and bring it home. Hopefully I'll be switching some wheels around on the white GT. Okay, so the 98's back. Looks good with the bullets. I really like that look. But I really like the bullets on white a lot. So it was a dream of mine when I had this car, and I made it happen. Then took them off when I sold it. So now that I have the car back, they're going back on. So we'll do some swapping around, and I'll probably just make another video on that one more as an update on this car. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.